Hello everyone, I have an important update to announce for you guys that I wanted to go over regarding overlays. So, a big question on everybody's mind is when is this going to happen? The original date was for April 8th, and I wanted to just let you know that the new date is going to be extended to April 22nd to accommodate other developers who asked for more time. So with that being said, you'll have this in app until the 22nd of April, when we will then remove just this overlay portion. So you can see the overlay on my Android device here. So anything that's involving on the screen over top of an app is going to be removed. That's the only piece that's going to be removed. So anything that draws over the game has to go away. Now, you may have heard rumors that I just want to kind of briefly touch on real quick that, for instance, that the iOS slide over feature is a core feature of the operating system. That's absolutely false. I want to just kind of put that to rest right now in case, you've been misinformed by that. In the developer kit, which basically teaches developers how to comply with iOS or Android, for example, it shows you how to do it, how to basically disallow things from being docked in the swipe over feature. So, it's something that's very easy that can be done. It's just most apps want to allow that. So you might see it in a lot of apps, and you can see that all the apps can be docked. However, it's something that's very easy that can be done. It would not take very long to implement at all. So just wanted to let you know about that, and that's kind of the reason that we're fully committed to complying here. I just want to kind of go over and briefly touch on that because I've been asked so many times, either in Messenger or in YouTube or in reviews or in Facebook, why we're basically complying here. Okay, I don't know if you guys remember, but the very first week that we launched on Android, Ian's account got flagged. Okay, and what does that entail exactly? That means that he basically could not develop anything else for Google ever again for life, is essentially what happened. So, and only, I think, when you get a ban like that, I think it was some small small number, not maybe like 2-3% of accounts get recovered. So we're very fortunate to even be in the position that where we're at, to where we actually got to recover Ian's account. And that was his personal account. It wasn't any kind of joint account that we had. So that would have basically revoked Ian's privileges from developing for life had we not been able to work that out. So that's the reason that we don't want to get in any kind of war here over this thing. It's not worth it. The overlay portion is not worth what you guys want us to fight for. Because what they do is they track your machine ID, like they document this. They document your email address, your IP address. All this stuff gets tracked and logged. And if you try to develop on, the same, you have to change your IP address. You have to get, you have to basically change your IP. You'll have to basically never use that computer again. You'll have to, create new emails. And on top of that, if somebody knows that you end up developing somewhere else, they can just report you and say, hey, this is that person. Can you go, look into this? And if they, trace you down, they're going to ban that account too. So it's a lifetime ban that we're talking about here. And that's why the main primary reason this is just not worth fighting for. The overlay is not as important as you guys make it out for. I've already showed you guys, if you didn't see, alternative methods to grids or alternative methods to, overlays. So if I wanted to avoid overlay, I could just drag this up here. And, this is basically a pop-up window that can be expanded as big as I want. And I can just run the back-end app over top the game. This is something that I'm doing with my Samsung phone. If you have a Samsung phone, this is something that you can do, especially if you have an S9 or later, S8, S9 or later, definitely can do this. And if you didn't see that video, please do check it out. It basically says alternative methods to overlays. It'll go over all that stuff for you. So, you know, similarly with grids, you know, Playdemic, they've already kind of told us they're not too worried about grids, that you guys using grids or using Messenger over top of the game. Stuff like that, this is not something that they're really concerned with. You're not going to get in trouble for using overlays. The only thing they're trying to do is prohibit developers from having this. And if a developer doesn't comply, they basically told us one of two things that's going to happen. The first thing they're going to try to do is get you banned in the Google and iPhone store, the Apple store. If they succeed, which you would think that they would, because they make the stores millions of dollars. We, you know, have brought in, you know, maybe a couple thousand to them. A very, very small total. So, you know, anything that Playdemic has to say, they're gonna basically kind of favor those guys, you would think. But let's just say, you know, for some reason, you know, they don't. You know, the next thing that they're going to try to do is basically just come after and prohibit, you know, the apps from working, for example, in-game, over top of the game. They can put code in place. Okay, so we already developed something, which is basically a basic program. It's like a Boolean response type, which is basically like true, false. You know, if an overlay is detected, do this. If an overlay isn't detected, well, then it's not detected. So anything that would be detected, you know, Playdemic could, in theory, basically, you know, either restrict certain apps from being, you know, launched, or alternatively, they could, you know, the worst thing that would ever happen to an individual is they could put code in place that would basically give you an auto forfeit. They've already told us they're not coming after any one person. They're not going to ban your account in any way for using overlays. They're only trying to come after developers. It's really their only good strategy moving forward. And if we're not to comply, you know, we're probably going to get squashed. So there's no reason, you know, and I'm going to be able to teach you guys how to still win at the game on my channel like I've always done, even without having the overlay. You know, there's going to be workarounds that can be found out. And, you know, using the take shot button again, stuff like this. It's not going to be, you know, that big of a deal to not have the overlays in place. So, you know, with that being said, you know, we still have a very quality product out here. You know, nobody has any of this stuff. Tournaments, courses, needle trainer in the app. If you haven't seen the needle trainer, okay, we have basically a simulator that does every club in the entire game, every ball type in the entire game, and it basically simulates, you know, needle speed. Other than that, in the course section here, if I was to go to the courses, you know, we still have all this valuable content. There's over 2,000 videos in the app of guides. So here you can see a guide section. There's more than 2,000 guides. And all of this took time to build. Okay? Every single one of these videos in here needed watched because you can see the clubs displaying outside. These are handwritten. That all these clubs are put in here by hand by watching the videos and putting it outside the video for you guys to easily see what you're getting into and, you know, matching up similar bags. Alternatively, you know, we just introduced this club suggestions for every single bag that you have for every single hole in the game. Every single hole in the entire game has this feature. to where it basically ranks your entire bag. All of this took, many months to create. So to basically come and say that the app is no longer usable because of just an overlay that's going. An overlay took, a fraction of all the time commitment that we put into developing all this stuff for you guys to use. So the app is and will always have good value to winning and succeeding at this game. So, I do want to just, keep this kind of brief. So, moving forward, I just want to let you guys know that, we don't really want to see too much discussion on the community about this moving forward, like in Facebook, for example. So I am going to probably just start killing some posts if it comes to too much of this further discussion of this, okay? Because basically I kind of laid everything out for you in this video. So everything that you would really need to discuss is in here, or questions that you may have. I've answered when the date is. I told you why we're doing what we're doing, as to why we're complying. And, there's pretty much nothing else really necessary here to figure out, why we're doing the things that we're doing. We're going to keep and maintaining, this best, application out there to basically use as a resource. So, all this stuff, took a lot of time to build, and, hopefully you guys are still getting a lot of value from it. And, moving forward past that April 22nd date, I'm still going to have the tournament guides out there showing you how to do it without the overlays. So it's really not going to change all that much. It is a nice thing to have, but it's a luxury more so than anything. It's a convenience thing. So, that gives you kind of plenty of time to kind of prepare as well. So if you were to go and buy just a dummy tablet just to run the app on, for example, that's something that would, be relatively easy to do. Now, you wouldn't want to buy a dummy tablet to play Golf Clash on, because you have to start thinking about processor speed, memory, stuff like this. These are important things to make the game run smoothly. However, just to run our app, it's not going to be a deal breaker. You could buy the cheapest tablet on the market for that. So, best advice I'd have is just buy it just for the notebook. Don't do any multitasking. And, that's going to be the best solution in place. So good luck out there, guys. I'm going to keep doing what I can to get you guys all the updated content and, showing you the way as to how to, do all this thing moving forward, even after that date. So, take care, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.